Hello guys, this is Man of Many Trades. I'm coming to you with an update of my 75-gallon tank and sump that I just decided to redo. It started I think a day or two before Thanksgiving, and it's now done. Between working and getting things around the house and getting prepared for winter, because I'm a procrastinator, always have been, always will be, but I had a lot of shit to do before then, so let's give you an update of this beautiful, beautiful, beautiful fish tank. Although it's a 75-gallon, but it's still beautiful. Now I am still adjusting the temp. I want to get my temp around 72 to 75-ish. Now, I know there was only like a 3-day gap in between my videos of the fish tank actually running, the sump running, and me having it up and going. I only let it cycle for 2 days. Then I sped up the process with some filters that I had that was in my 55-gallon that were really dirty. So I just stuck it in there. Threw all the bacteria in the tank, which caught a shit ton of it in the sump, which probably wasn't a great idea. But I had extra filters. I wanted to speed it up quick, although it was extra work. It was still quick. Threw everything in there, and then at the bottom of the fish tank, you can see all the poo and shit and stuff. So I cleaned that up again. I did like 2, not water changes, but fish tank cleanups to get all that shit out of there. And my sump filters were so nasty. I mean, they were freaking nasty. But I let them go for a couple of days, which built it up enough for me to add fish today, which all of them seem to be doing fine. I did a API test kit for my ammonia, nitrate, and all that other stuff, my pH. Everything was up to power. Everything was safe, and that was 2 days. 2 days, and they're in there. Now, if I didn't have another fish tank, and this was my only one, then I would have to cycle the fish tank all over again, which would have took about 3 to 4 weeks. And from there, my fish living in totes and shit with bubble filters. So that wasn't an option. So everything is done. It's done nicely. Everybody's not picking on nobody. They're just in there relaxing and chilling. I mean, there's some chasing, some territorial things, but fish are exotic creatures, and it's kind of like an alpha male on a wolf pack, or wolves. They will know their position in the pack within 24 to 48 hours, and this tank will be completely different. So, different mood of the fish. So, like, say if one fish likes a certain rock, then he'll stay in that certain rock, and he will defend that certain rock. And if other fish come in, then he's going to defend them off. But as of right now, they're all figure each other out, and finding places that they like, which is perfectly fine. So let's talk about the sump. How's the sump doing? The sump's not doing too bad. All that filter floss on the top, that's a partial filter right there, and I cut squares out of it, and I laid them on top where the water was running over them. Because remember, I did the bacteria, so therefore I had all the bacteria in those filters. And after that, I did a normal tank cleanup, changed the filters, kept a couple squares of the filters, which typically you don't do, but I'm doing it right now because I need that bacteria. So from there, I put that in there with the new filter floss, which it's not dirty yet. At that, there's some bacteria growing already on the bio balls, and my sump is perfectly at the yellow line. So everything seems to be working fantastically. Yes, that's there, that little white hanger. If not, the hose bounces around a lot, which kind of gives it the tornado effect. which makes the sump even gurgle even more. I don't mind it gurgling every once in a while because it is gravity fed, but I just don't like gurgling every few seconds. Every 10 minutes or so, that's fine with me. I just don't like it all the time, constantly, like clockwork. But everything seems to be working. It's gurgling right now, but that's fine. And I'll show you behind what it's actually doing. But yeah, everything seems to be working spectacularly. My catfish swimming upside down. That's one of my lace catfishes. I swear to God, he's a cokehead. But yeah, everything seems to be doing great. I don't have no problems with it. No problems with the tank. No nothing. So yeah, maybe next time I'll get a 6-foot tank and I'll do the same. Although it would take up this entire wall, but I still think it would be beautiful. I already told you what the sump is. All this stuff was made out of just recycled materials, guys. Like this is plexiglass. Just cut pieces of plexiglass, silicone it, scrape it if you need to in there, and use a couple of rubbing alcohol pads, get a clean surface, and lift it maybe this much off the bottom of the tank and silicone it. Filters, eBay. This piece I have no idea. It was left over from a project. Shit. The thing that's attached to that, I forgot what it was called. Strainer. It has holes in it, which is plexiglass, and the holes I drilled was with a step bit. I drilled a shit ton of them in there, and they're maybe a little bit smaller than my pinky, maybe. And that's there. The bio balls off eBay. The bottom plastic thing that holds the bio balls up off the ground is from a box fan. I just cut to fit, and the tank I found on the side of the road because it leaked, and I just re-siliconed that. So, but that was years ago, and the plexiglass on top was like $23. Then the hoses and shit I still had from the previous tank, so I just kept the hoses and did it that way. I mean, the hoses I got originally from, I think, Do It Center or Menards, one of the two, and that was all good. Then the top, that thing comes with your sump. If you get a sump kit, that comes with your sump. Now the bulkhead is right there, which I had to have a diamond bit hole saw, which I didn't even buy the hole saw. I had one of my people that I buy fish from all the time. He had a diamond bit hole saw, and I bought the bulkhead, and he stuck it in there. Not that we silicone the shit out of the back of it with certain things, which I'll show you here in a second. I mean, all I have wrapped up into this tank was, well, the sump, maybe $30 bucks. I mean, it's not really expensive. It's better than any hang-on back filter. And let me zoom this out. There's my bulkhead. Yes, silicone into a reducer, into a 45, into 1-inch PVC tubing, or 1.5 inch. Then into the hose, which that is a really tight fit, so that's not even siliconed, which runs all the way into my sump. Like I said, it's gravity fed. It's just like siphoning gas out of a car or a fish tank. If you're changing the fish tank water, you got to have the bucket lower than the fish tank, and it'll flow water for days if you can keep up with it. So then I have the most expensive thing on this tank besides the fish tank alone was the cichlid stones. Those were ridiculous. I paid for those, but I had to have them. I just like cichlid stones a lot better than stacking rocks. And the LED light, I bought that for like $100. So, but the cichlid stones, I can put those on any tank, and the light I can have up to think this is good for up to an 80 or 90 gallon or 100 gallon fish tank, and I have most of the rods pushed in, so I can change it and put it onto another fish tank. So technically that's reusable items. I'll get my use out of them eventually. But besides that, the sump alone was only like 30-40 bucks. See how that's shaking just a little bit? Let me see if I can get stable. So what's happening is when the water's going down, it's acting like a tornado effect. It's going like this, which is when that water's coming around on the side, it's moving the hose a little bit. And sometimes there's too much of that, which makes it gurgle. Which is, like I said, it's not gurgling now. I don't mind gurgling. I just don't want to have it gurgle for, 8 hours a day. But besides that, everything's working beautiful in this tank. And my temp is about 75. I just turned the heater down, so I'm turning that down slowly. 80, they're fine. It's just I don't like going above 80. But I'm trying to get it between 70 and 75-ish. I prefer 75. That way I know that from 75 degrees my power gets shut off. Depending on time, day, year, they will acclimate to lower temperatures. Now after I got my mothballs in here, I just threw those in there. They ain't gonna eat them. But yeah, everything's working great. I have no problems with this tank. This tank is lovely. Y'all wanted to see what it looks like with the lights blue. I don't always use it, but sometimes I do use it, especially if I have aggression in the tank. I can see what fish is chasing who. So, but yep. But yeah, she's doing all right. She's doing a-okay. Well, this is Man of Many Trades, guys. Please, if you like my fish tanks and my updates on my fish tanks, let me know. Hit the like button. If you haven't subscribed. I'll get off this fish tank stuff here in a while, but this is one of those things that I've been neglecting for like a year to do. So besides that, it is what it is, guys. So I'll get started up in some of the vape gear. I got some vape gear coming as well. I may have some games coming as well. There hasn't been any games out there that's truly got my attention lately. I'm not a real race car guy on video games. In real life, I'd rather not say, but it's only between me, you, and Jesus. Besides that, I just have to get stuff prepared for winter. That's the reason why I haven't been making a whole lot of videos. I'm gonna try to keep on making videos and keep on letting people keep on getting updates out. So, but yeah, everything is everything for right now. Like I said, I live in Michigan, so Michigan is actually a pretty severe cold climate. I have to keep the house warm. There's a lot more work in the winter than there is in the summer. Summer and spring. Summer's typically cleanup, and spring is typically getting ready for winter. So we're always busy. We're always working. When we get off work, we're back to working. Either in the household or outside doing something out there. Like in my bedroom, I was actually re-insulating that last week. So so for like 2 days we didn't have no insulation in our bedroom at all. which that's in addition to the house. So it had zero insulation, so we were stuck to heating blankets and space heaters for a couple of days until I could get everything up and established. And now it's perfect. It's way better than what it was, but it's 10 by 12 or 10 by 15 room. Maybe 8. I can't remember. All I know is I was doing the walls and I was working. I was coming home doing the walls, coming home working doing the walls. And then in this over here, I gotta redo some of this flooring. Not because of the fish tank, just because of age. And the great thing about my landlord is that he trusts me enough to do this stuff. That's the reason why I stay here. It's because he doesn't care. When I live here, it's my house, my property, and that's how every landlord should do it. For right now, because I take care of this house like it's my own. Yeah, some carpet's faded, and the carpet in the living room isn't the greatest anymore. But you also got to understand, when you live somewhere for $11 years, you're gonna get wear and tear. That's just how it is. And the great thing with him is that if I say, hey, I need a carpet 8 by 12, he'll bring it to me. I'll throw it in the house. I just tell him what I need. He'll bring it to me. I'll throw it in the house. And he does not mind me living in any of his houses because he knows my work. He knows that I'm not gonna break anything. He also loves my fish tanks as well. I put up 100-gallon in his house that he lives in. He lives in a double wide, and where his fish tank was going, there wasn't any support beam, so we had to reinforce underneath the house before we could actually fill up the tank. But I had the tank all suited and with I believe they were Fluvus or Eheim fucking filters, FLVUES or something like that. I can't remember what filters, but it was 2 canister filters. I recall that. So I asked him if he wanted a sump. He said he didn't want one because of all the hassle with it and stuff like that. But it's not really a hassle per se. I think sumps are easier to change out and maintain than anything, especially if you got a fertilized sump. It just maintains itself over the years. You don't have to maintain it, you don't have to take it down, you don't have to do nothing with it, just let it go. But yep, I'll talk to you all later.